Welcome to Bespoke Diaries. Today's article is on Discovering Your Passions by Tania Roa, Climate Justice Advocate, Biodiversity for a Livable Climate, United States of America. Growing up, Tania often felt pressured to decide on one career she would stick with for the rest of her life. What do you want to be when you grow up? Became a constant reminder of society's expectation that she strives to be one thing. Even though she would answer the question, she never felt like her response encompassed all her hopes and dreams. Some days she felt like becoming a veterinarian or the President of the United States, but above all, she just wanted to make an impact. She wanted to leave a legacy behind. Like many other children, she wanted to grow up and make a difference. After high school, she applied to colleges without a clear vision of what she wanted her career to be. She had enjoyed her senior year psychology class, so she began declaring that as her major. Tania figured it was a broad enough topic that was bound to put her on the right path. After skimming over a magazine article, her mom gave Tania the idea of studying to be an animal-assisted therapist. She was famous for loving animals, so it seemed like the perfect career to combine her newfound passion for psychology and her long-held affection for animals. She soon went all in, declaring a minor in animal science and supervising a research project on animal-assisted interventions. Soon enough, her undergraduate years were coming to an end, signifying that it was time for her to think about her next steps. She had glowing recommendations and, thanks to a few internships, a jump start. Her accomplishments looked great on paper, but she graduated feeling like a failure. Despite having everything she needed to build a strong career in animal-assisted therapy, she already felt burned out. The spark that first attracted her to the field was beginning to dim. Tania knew she had to reevaluate her plans, so she decided to take a gap year. She needed time to clear her head and reflect on what her passions truly were. After all that hard work, she had yet to find her purpose. She felt lost. She longed for the feeling of certainty. She kept worrying that her 4 years in undergraduate studies were a waste of time and money. Her parents came to the United States to provide a better life for her brother and Tania. If she did not take advantage of her blessings, she would disgrace their hard work and sacrifice. Tania wanted to honor the fact that they invested in her. Tania knew she would never forgive herself otherwise. Yet, amid so much guilt, she questioned her instinct to stick with her chosen career. How could she dedicate her life to something that no longer excited her? Tania's life was at a crossroads, and the time to make a decision was running out. Throughout her gap year, she read articles and books, worked a few part-time jobs, and traveled overseas by herself for the first time. She pushed herself to learn and experience new things, in hopes that something would bring her a sign. She yearned to discover another passion. She assumed that the more she forced herself out of her comfort zone, the more likely she would find an answer. One day, on one of her usual rabbit hole-like online searches, she came across an article on the 6th mass extinction currently afflicting our planet. She instantly began to search more on the subject. She could not believe that this was the first time she was hearing about something so substantial. Countless species were on the brink of extinction, yet it felt like no one was talking about it. She had to find a way to spread awareness for the plight numerous incredible species were facing. This epiphany pushed her to return to academia and join the conservation space. Although she still considers herself a wildlife conservationist, the story continues. In 2020, during the Black Lives Matter protests after the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, Tania found her second purpose, advocating for justice. These demonstrations were occurring while she was fulfilling an internship with an international animal welfare organization. There, she learned about the concept of One Welfare, a philosophy that highlights the connections between the health of humans, animals, and the planet. Tania realized that a career in wildlife conservation alone would fail to incorporate the bigger picture. Social inequalities correlate with the degradation of land and bodies of water. In her fight to protect nature, she must recognize the communities first and foremost impacted by its destruction. Historically marginalized peoples, who have had their land stripped from them and their water sources contaminated, can no longer be forgotten. By combining her two purposes, Tania found her role in the environmental movement. She now considers herself a climate justice advocate. In the end, she refused to stay in a single lane. She finally realized that the only thing she wants to be when she grows up is true to herself. Living a life she is proud of, regardless of where that leads her, keeps Tania on her destined path. Her overall goal is to lead a life of compassion, which will likely vary in appearance as she gets older. Thankfully, she no longer has to try to fit in one box or category. By combining her interests and giving herself the space to evolve, she can take part in work that feeds her soul. Her life has been full of rich experiences that have gradually transformed her perspectives, desires, and goals. Refusing to accept life's twists and turns was ultimately diminishing her potential. Some people find their one true passion and stick with it until the day they die, but this isn't always the case. Life is full of opportunities, so we should be encouraging each other to stay curious. We need an open mind to embrace all life has to offer. When we accept the inevitable, we are bound to end up in places our younger selves would not have dared imagine. Take it from Tania, the best things await outside your comfort zone. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Do leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For similar type of article, please reach us at contact@thebespokediaries.com, or you can visit our website www.thebespokediaries.com.